if you're conceptualizing your campaign, pardon me, a little bit of salsa is making me sniffly here. Break it up into a couple major parts, 3 or 4, and give them a broad title to help you stick to a theme in that part. Let me catch up in chat. Okay, so yeah, if she was a human, or anyone who wasn't human was a second-class citizen. So she sort of bound up her tail. She just sort of like wrap it around her leg. Oh, Spillheart, you have you're quasi fiendish, and that's where you keep your tail too. You just sort of like keep it wound around your leg. Glitch Mouse, though, they once moved out of the desert. She relaxed a bit more on those standards. Oh, diadems, this is very fresh salsa. And it's mild, so you can just, I don't know, enjoy it as you will. It's very good stuff. Now, the way that we're going to be building this campaign, at least conceptually, will be using milestones. If you prefer to use experience points, I'm sure you could break down each of the ideas then into appropriate rewards for accomplishing different actions. Yep, cleric with a scythe, Trefus. Right here. Good old Moira. She'll go sickle and shield, or she'll just two-hand a scythe. Let's see. These are people from different walks of life, and we want to bring them together. So, they're going to start at level 4, and to get to level 5, several roads meet on the way to Deepreef. The individuals, some may already know each other, find a pilgrim's wagon overturned and looted. The party, such as it is ambushed in an attack to try and rob them as others had been robbed. Concepts: battle, party formation. This is also when you can have your session 0. I know I'm narrating when I'm off camera because I'm reaching down for some chips. Your session 0 can be done when all of them are on the road walking together and sharing a little bit about themselves, who they are, where they've been, the world around them, and that kind of a thing. And then when you're ready as a DM, that's when they come across this pilgrim's wagon that has been overturned and apparently looted or attacked recently, only to have the attackers maybe have used it as a setup. In fact, the attackers might even be dressed up as pilgrims themselves in order to try and loot other people who come to this quasi-holy site, now kind of a resort because they recently made a hot spring in the mountains. So they have a battle. and they continue onwards. Congratulations, you're level 5. Level 5 to 6. Milestone. Walk together or find an animal that can pull the cart to reach the city. Now all are a little closer for the combat and physically shoulder to shoulder in the cart. This is a time of bonding and exploration. Perhaps with a few random encounters along the way to help set the stage for the party's adventure to come. Way here. This was concepts, battle, party formation. The concepts here are going to be exploration, encounters, not necessarily combats. Remember, we made an encounter table last night. Not everything on the encounter table was a fight. And even if it wasn't necessarily a lethal fight. It just shows that, look, there's trouble on the road to reach Deepreef Bay. And you gotta be willing to get a bloody nose or a bloody lip in order to get here and see the wonders, to visit the hot springs yourself, to go curl your bare feet in the sands of their beach, the beach that's on the Sea of Rust, so called because supposedly of everyone who's eaten by sharks there. I mean, meanwhile, there's actually, if someone rolls a knowledge nature, they might be able to figure it out that's not necessarily the only reason why it's called that. The milestone ends with the party arriving in the city and given a communal room in a barn or inn, as that's all that is left this time of year due to the festival. Now your party has to stay together and therefore bond a little bit more in their own ways. No problem, Trefus. And that video, that build video will be going up tonight. So if you go to our YouTube, and the link is with !YouTube, if you go there, you can see our character builds, our map making, our party formation, our dungeon making, all of these steps. Glitch Mouse goes into the forest, a wolf pack comes out, 15 and 18. Yeah, Glitch Mouse tells them to sit, and instead they play dead. And by that I mean they don't play, they just are. Now, as I'm writing out ideas here, please, any of you out there, you are welcome to throw out other ideas or details. If a broad point that I put up here Well, I mean, for you all, it's. I have to be careful at an angle here. If that something up there inspires you, feel free to speak up and share an idea, and we can weave it in, or consider it, or talk about it. I don't want this to just be a pure presentation by me in some stream of thought. So now we're seeing troubled waters. This is going to be level 6 to 7. The party is going to get to explore the town and its culture, religion, and lifestyle. They should be exposed to several events now so that they can ponder on them for the duration of the campaign. Seaside funeral. We said that if someone dies in the village, their body is supposed to be committed to the sea, but there's been a bit of a body snatcher going on. Yes, definitely check on that, Glitch Mouse. Right, so they're committed out to this. They're committed to the sea here to wait for the high tide to come in. But someone has been coming in and snatching up those bodies. We know as the DM, they're being taken to that forbidden island for some reason. Let them choose what will interest them the most. 1, 2, and 3. And you know what? All of these roads may lead to Rome, but you're still allowing your players to have agency and for them to, through their own devices, find a way to bond together because they have an active interest in what's happening. Seaside funeral and the missing body rumors. Angry fishermen in the shipwright's docks ranting about those fish people damaged my boat again. And lastly, let's see, what was another plot hook we had? Oh, right. An old pilgrim, dragon in disguise, is talking about a mysterious cave found after a rock slide / storm and wants people to investigate. If you weren't here for the dungeon creation episode, there is a blue dragon that lives in the cliffs over here. He disguised himself as the adventure patron and is trying to lure people into his cave. Ultimately, the blue dragon's going to be kind of like the Grinch. He doesn't want he doesn't want this fun summer festival to happen, and he wants to undermine it. Hey, Derek. There's no missing body. They found it under or inside an engine block. Is this referring to your Promethean game? How'd that go, by the way? Concepts? A mini adventure revolving around one of the cases above. The adventurers will perform any of these for extra money, a better room / accommodations, and or a better spa package, which can include festival goodies. Right, in our session 0, as DM and PCs, we talked down, or we sat down and we talked to each other. As your DM, I said, look, here's your motivation. You're 5 characters, you're on your way to this quaint seaside village in the summer, and there's going to be a festival, a new hot spring had just opened up, and you're pilgrims on the way. You're going to meet on the way, I'll let you socialize and go, but this is the gist of the game. And presumably, all of you have consented to that premise and would like to play along. You had to cut it early, but I think they got the flavor of it. Wish it could have gone on for another hour to involve a big rig high-speed chase with cops involved on a major highway between Fort Worth and Dallas. Woo! That sounds very exciting and pulse-pounding, especially for a game about people who aren't even alive. Or not in the traditional sense. So the first question is, did everyone have fun? Because I do like how you break it down. You know, from what I caught from Vampire that you ran a while ago. How you sat everyone down after the session and you're like, okay, or no, it was Mage. I'm sorry, it was Mage. Break it down, give it to me. What do you think happened? Did you like the session? What could be better? I appreciated that methodology, Derek. Now, for this part that we just generated, we made the ideas for these when we were making the town on Wednesday. But you would need to come up with a couple extra cues to take them through this mini adventure once you presented all 3 options in front of them. So it's something to consider and something to think about. In any of these cases, actually the old Pilgrim, that was the dungeon we made. That's already generated, effectively. All of these are going to involve investigation and social interaction as the concepts to what's happening. there may be combat, or there might be a hazard or a chase, but it's nothing that's like, oh, big boss level. What's going on here? Dorak says no. I am Derek. Then who was phone? Derek says they're okay. They said they had fun. I wish I could build it up more, but time constraints, yeah. Time constraints. Dude, I totally feel you, and I think everyone understands that. Coffee Cat says, also I exist, but I don't know if I believe you. Do you really exist, Coffee Cat? Do you? And what's your proof? Derek says, and you know, I treat GMing as an art form that needs perpetual improving. Yep. And that's, you know, it's kind of like what Journeyman was talking about, right? Never be, in fact, even heck, I'm sorry, PG-13. Bob Ross even says you should never be satisfied with your work. Oh, dude, Dorak, thank you. If you're ever satisfied with your work as an artist, then you've stopped being an artist. You should always challenge yourself and always look to be better. Dorak, dude, that was really cool. Thank you. Now, as I said, each of these roads here is going to lead to Rome. We're going to get down to a point where, discovered in the dungeon, or about the Angry Fisherman, or even the Seaside Funeral, that the Rippers are going to have to come up in some way as a major agent in what's happening. So here is our level 7 to 8. Introduce the Rippers as antagonists. That dovetail into one of the mini adventures above. This will set the stage to show that they are ferocious, but not unthinking nor without a cause. Concepts. Big fight, right? We haven't had a big fight yet. We've had events. Some of those events were fights. If you go into this dungeon that the dragon is lording over, there will be traps or hazards. You know, you have to roll dice to survive. This should be a big fight where you are introduced to the matron of the Rippers herself. Risky's back. Sko was awesome. Can I get a quick recap? Hey, Spillheart. Derek, gotta take care of Derek. Oh, man. Well, here. Boom. Ready? On 3, the rock's gonna explode, right? So we're already fist bumping here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. The show was awesome. Can I get a quick recap? So, Risky Luke, we are now in the planning phase by making milestones for the campaign set around our summer festival. After the fight, Ripjaw vows to see them again. To blow off pressure in the story and keep it on its festival / summer fun tact. After the retreat, the town recognizes this group of pilgrims for stepping up and getting things done themselves instead of counting on the locals for everything like all the other pilgrims have. The economic boom is straining the town. Concepts. Oh, I already have concepts. Big fight. After that, followed by some socialization, relaxation, maybe a bit stressful because of revelations, and include some fun mini games and narrative adventures that do not roll dice. Exclamation point. I'm going to put two exclamation. No, I'm going to put a third exclamation point. It is perfectly fine for you who are running a module, a campaign, to have interaction with your players as a DM and absolutely no dice are rolled. Even if there's a challenge, how would you roleplay get around the challenge? What are you saying to the... what are you saying to the busty woman in the, with the open summer, like the yukata, who's carrying a basket of fish on her head and she's gonna go and wibble wobble, wibble wobble? If that's something that your character's interested in, narrate it. Or there's a kid who's playing too close to the river and is gonna fall in. And in fact, maybe he does fall in. Narrate how you're going to save this kid, if that's what you want to do. Have a narrative challenge. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Tell everyone, I want your dice away. You can keep your character sheets out to reference your personality or other things, or, a magic spell or a feature or something. We are in narrative time. No dice, and we're going to go around the table, and we're going to tell each other a story of what's happening. Hey, lady. Good to see you again. Travel to the monastery. Finally, it's time to travel up the mountain fully. Whoop. If they tried before due to the dungeon, and meet the other part of the faith. Concepts, events, exploration, while it is not their spa day yet, they can still go to visit and appreciate the wine, beer, and hot mineral baths that have become a feature of the seaside village. Probably even a little bit of socialization as they fraternize with the monks. The milestone resolves when, after the tour and schmoozing, they piece together another part of the Ripper's plight, as Ripjaw had given them a partial clue in their first encounter. So here you have, she said something like, oh, it's because of all you stinking humans in our water. And, that this is happening. She shakes her fist or, her trident or whatever. Well, when the story progress clicks in your players' brains, wait a minute. There's an underground river. It flows to the monastery. The monastery has a hot springs. People bathe in there. Skin, oils, whatever else flow down the mountain, and it trickles out of this sea arch that's straddling the bay. The waters of the bay are being flooded by, skin cells and scent and all this other stuff. And it's disrupting the life of the Rippers. And that's why she's so upset. And so now, click. And when that click occurs, that's when the level up can, afterwards. But you want to make sure that they get that click. That this is what's happening, and this is why the Rippers are so upset. Yeah, Dorak, hot mineral baths. Yeah, isn't that lava? Well, it depends on your tolerance, I guess, right? Dark Wolf, hello again. You had fun with the Promethean game. I got caught doing yandere things. I did not do the moiter, though. So what, you're just beating on people to express your love? Coffee Cat enjoyed that scene. Oh my. Although maybe instead of exploration, this is more like mystery solving. So look, we only had 2 levels in the introduction part. Right now, in Troubled Waters, we have 1, 2, we're up to 3 in here. Now that we've solved the mystery, let's go tell someone. Here we go. Level 9 to 10. Tell authorities about the connection between the spa and the Rippers. This is when they learn that perhaps the economics of the spa are considered more important than the Rippers' opinions. Here is when the divisions between the civic and religious leaders become more apparent, and everything isn't as quaint as it could be. It is time to choose a faction, as each has goods and bads. Each can help the group with their reputation, money, and ability to enjoy the impending festival. And then you give them a choice, right? Kind of like what you did above. If you even want to go 3, you can do so. There's always another option, even if it doesn't seem like there is. Civic. Mayor. Religious. Abbot or High Priestess. Neither. Or even rippers. To be announced what will happen, right? I'm not going to worry about the spacing on this just yet. Darkwolf says, I was on the hood of Senpai's truck staring through the window. Oh. Oh my. You were on the hood of a truck staring at Senpai in the T-1000 kind of way in Terminator 2. Lady says, we did put in quite a bit happening in our location. It's good and bad, not plural. Oh, did I, Oh, yeah, I'm stream of consciousness. Nah, forget about it, lady. That's fine. Stream of thought, OCD, and where we meet in the middle. Ah, beautiful. It's the Goldilocks zone of role-playing. He was sleeping. I was just watching. Whew. Remember, the creepiest thing you could ever say to someone? You smell different when you're awake. Milestone ends after the group does a favor for the chosen faction. You're very welcome, Derek. Milestone ends after the group does a favor for the chosen faction. The favor is the resolution of one of the 2 remaining side quests. This will allow for your players who maybe didn't vote for the one initially chosen to pursue another that interested them. Concepts. Second mini adventure. Intrigue. Whoop. Level 10 to 11. Festival time. The party has earned their reward. And this should be a very welcome break from combat, intrigue, etc. They can play games, spend money, bond, or otherwise this is a free level as long as the role-playing is good, and ultimately as a group they grow stronger ties together in some way. Now, I don't want to say that they become friends, because you know what? Some characters just can't be friends. I mean, if we're friends as players, that's fine. but maybe our characters can't. But they can grow stronger ties. If we come back, actually, Dark Wolf and Derek and all of you, I'll go over the party building again with you to see what happened, because some characters may grow close with affection or friendship. Others may actually grow close because of their animosity or their differences. Yet those are still ties. They're still tied together in some way. And that's what you want to encourage. Give them the festival, give them a break. Because you know what? During the festival, and you got to pay attention to what they want to do. Because something's going to happen at the festival that maybe they didn't see or catch. And that will lead ultimately to, the resolution of things. Your imagination isn't up to par with mine when you're tired? Well, challenge accepted, lady. Have some coffee and we'll go brain to brain. Kind of, Dark Wolf. I will get to that when I finish the campaign. If you can stay up, this is probably going to be about another 20 minutes, maybe. If you can stay up, I will go over it, and you can see a very interesting thing that happened during the party formation sequence. We'll use Dark Wolf's terminology here. Moiter at the festival. The party's patron has gone missing and is presumed dead. If you don't want the patron to die, that's fine. Maybe there's a fight and some blood. To leverage the city, the patron was taken by the Rippers amid the fireworks, music, and other distractions. A note or clue was left where the showdown / ultimatum negotiation will take place. However, Rippers think differently than Landwalkers. So it's a bit of a mystery itself. Concepts. Puzzle or riddle. Investigation. Because of the level difference between characters, aren't they going to level evenly? Lady, when we generate characters, that is considered to be random because it's a mental exercise in that moment. When we conceptualize a campaign, we're presuming that they're all starting at the same level. You are cozy though? Oh, that's a death sentence for an AWU. Let's see, we started at 4. So to 5, to 6, to 7, to 8, to 9, to 10, to 11, to 12. 8 levels. We can get them. We can bump them up 2 more, I think, here with this. So we have level 12 to 13. After finding out where the patron was taken and or where to meet Ripjaw, the party goes there to negotiate or fight as necessary. Concept. Moral challenge. Cake Boss has returned. Welcome back, Cake Boss. So after finding out where the patron was taken and or where to meet Ripjaw, the party goes there to negotiate or fight as necessary. It is here that one of the other patrons courting favor with the party has also arrived. And we have a bit of a Mexican standoff. Are you all familiar with that term, what a Mexican standoff is? And we have a bit of a Mexican standoff between the parties. There could very well be a large-scale boss fight here, or some tense negotiations that would have to lead to a solution for the new spa, or for the new hot springs. And so here's the moral challenge. If the hot springs get shut down, the Rippers can continue to live life. Do the villagers really know or appreciate everything the Rippers have done for them beneath the waves? As well, the town will lose out on a lot of money if the hot springs get shut down. And mind you, the party hasn't been able to soak in the hot springs yet. If the hot springs stay open, the Rippers are going to go mad or become murderous or just die out or be driven off. And then who knows what could happen because of that. There are short-term gains. There are long-term gains. Yes, there could be a hit point fight where we're rolling to hit and dealing damage. But especially when you reach the end of a campaign, a moral challenge, a moral fight is a huge... it's a beautiful, yet messy, yet wonderful, yet necessary thing to do. To really get everything riled up and to sort it out at the same time. It's very much a question of economics, of faith, of environment, of, civics. There's a lot that's riding. I mean, think about it, Lady Atara. In Jaws, why did Amity not want to shut down the beaches after the shark deaths? Cake Boss says better to have more allies than to make enemies. Maybe. The more allies you have, that's more possible knives that can end up in your back later. Hey, Bobicus. So this game isn't being played, it's just a thought exercise. Personally, I would not feel comfortable running a game with huge level differences between... Yeah, I agree with that, Bobicus. The individual characters are generated at different levels because that's part of the exercise of... that's part of the exercise of things. That's true, says Cake Boss. Yeah, here, give me a second. I'm going to refill my pitcher of water here, and then we'll get this concluded. Hang on one moment. Okay, sorry about that. Little little dried out. I have a fan blowing on me, and I've been talking a bunch, especially with passion in the voice. Anyway, all right. So to conclude this, oh, the dark ale and the honey mead. Yeah, we were talking about that the lumberjacks were making. All right, so here we have the moral challenge. It could lead to actually not even a one boss fight. You might actually have to to face two different boss characters, as you have this swirling melee that is coming to blows because things have finally gotten so out of hand. No one's listening to each other. Everyone is shouting, but no one is trying to consider another person's point of view. The moral challenge: will the party step up and try and negotiate? And you know what? Look, with a party like this, you have lawful good, lawful neutral, lawful evil, and chaotic evil. Hopefully someone in the party can translate concepts between each other in some form or fashion, because you have quite a spread of experiences and mentalities. But the last boss of this campaign could very well be the spa itself. What do we do with the hot springs? And will the day be won by daggers? Or will the day be won through negotiations and words? And the tough decisions in what to sacrifice? Can you convince the Rippers to sacrifice something? Can you convince the monastery or the town as a civic entity? Yeah, lady. When I play, all the characters just level up at the same time. If someone missed a game for a reason, it's not relevant. I catch them up on what happened, and you know the game continues on. Now, if someone is chronically missing games, you just write them out because they've stopped existing. Level 14, or to get to level 14, this is where, you know what, they've been through a lot. They've either fought or they've been through a moral hazard or something along those lines. This is where, depending on the results of the negotiation, they can finally enjoy peace and quiet, right? They can finally enjoy some rewards, economic rewards or social standing rewards. Maybe they're offered houses or something to live in town and to be residents themselves. This can very well be communal storytelling without dice about how they would act and react to the situation. This is a great opportunity to examine and measure the bonds each of the characters created between themselves. Make it peaceful, a reward. Maybe some fireworks thrown in for good measure. If they earned the reward they have, let your players savor it. At the end, you call for one last dice roll without signifying what it is for. The highest roller, or lowest if you want, gets one last piece of information as a hero's work is never finished. That third scenario from above that had been left on the table. Oh yeah. That one. That needs resolution. However, since so much time and distraction has occurred, it is a more severe predicament. One that will need its whole own / other epic campaign. Dun dun dun! We left on a cliffhanger. And your players are going to be like, oh, I knew, we should have taken care of that. Or, oh, I told you so. Something along those lines. So, if there's let's say that they never explored the missing corpses on the beach, right? The burial at sea. And it came down to a fight in the monastery. Well, the bodies are going to be committed to the sea, even if they killed Ripjaw herself. So she would be processed and put back out to sea. Her corpse is stolen. Dun dun dun. Or if they didn't choose to follow the old man to go to the dungeon that's in the side of the mountain, suddenly the mountain, the scale of the disaster that's awaiting the mountain or the monastery is huge because no one attended to it yet. And so no matter what their choice was above, there's going to be one last thing. But this campaign, to take you to level 14, you went from 4 to 14. Congratulations. There's 10 levels of story. You've fought. You've solved mysteries and puzzles. You've had intrigue, socialization, random roll tables. You've just had fun, wacky adventures. And you've gone shopping, and you've rubbed elbows with people, and you've done... Think of the entire journey now you've taken over this. And then there's that one last call to action at the end, and hopefully your players want to stick around, and then do an epic level campaign of 15 to 20 to pound out this last problem that's really exacerbated in the time being. And can use the allies you've made in the prior campaign. Eh? Echo, I forget when you left. Sorry. Yeah, they could be given a property outside of town. A place to make their own, or places. Very good idea, Cake Boss. Cheers to that. Well, if that's the case, Echo, you've missed me narrating what you're seeing typed here, and I'll upload this to our Discord so you can download it and review it. I hope you've enjoyed this. Conceptual adventure, and it's made sense to you. Maybe it's inspired you, given ideas on how to run this or a similar, something similar. And again, not all your events have to be bad, or not all confrontations or conflicts have to be physical or magical. They can be social. They can be moral. It could just be a session where you disallow the use of dice and you go pure role play. But I really wanted to hope that to inspire you to take this Deepreef Bay area that we made together on Wednesday, and to make it come alive, and to still keep the spirit of kind of an episodic anime adventure, set amid different circumstances, and everyone just wants to have a beach holiday, and this keeps happening. But anyway, I'll save this and upload it up to. I'll upload this to our Discord so you all can download it, play with it, expand on it, clean it up. If you know, as Lady Atara was saying, she has a little bit of OCD going on with what's happening here. You're welcome to do that too. And yeah, take a look out for it.